Recently I posted a video showing you how I fixed a water pipe without turning off the supply, but I was inundated with people asking me where the supply went, so I'm back again with a bit of modern technology to find out. Us civil engineers and builders do a lot of work in the ground, and as such we have to be good at finding pipes and cables, because if we don't, when we dig a hole we definitely will find them, but it normally costs an awful lot of money. But there is a way around it, and there's something on the market that's been around in my industry forever, and it's called a CAT and Genny, or a CAT scanner, and CAT stands for cable avoidance tool, and this one I hired off a Speedy Hire, who gave me a really good deal. These are definitely the sort of things you hire than buy, because they're quite expensive and it's not the sort of thing you're going to be using every day. And with this comes what they call a Genny, which is a generator that if you haven't got a signal in your cable or your pipe, you can actually induce a signal with this generator in a couple of different ways, which I'll show you in a minute, to actually be able to find it with this detector. But having said that, today I'm trying to track a water pipe made out of either plastic or rubber, so really difficult to induce a signal into a pipe like that. It'd be a lot easier if it was a cable. But I've got some ideas, so let's go and have a look at the pipe and see what I can do with some of this. The radio detection cable avoidance tool is not a metal detector, but it picks up electromagnetic signals emitted by live cables, either power or signal. In a situation where you have cables but they're not live, then the generator can induce one by either clipping or clamping it directly onto it, or by sitting it on top of the pipe or cable where it induces a signal into it. This usually works well with metal pipes, but with this plastic one filled with water, I thought I'd give it a go, but I'm really pushing my luck. The first challenge is the generator emits quite a strong signal, so trying to pick up a pipe or cable anywhere near it is difficult, because even on a low sensitivity, the detector is just going off the scale. So I try further away, and after numerous passes at different sensitivity settings, I'm still not picking up a definitive reading. So I abandon that method and go to plan B. Before I do that, it's worth showing you the controls on the unit. There's a selector switch that chooses from power, signal, generator, or all three, a sensitivity dial, and a simple on-off switch under the handle. The speaker can also be unscrewed to be held to your ear, which is useful in really noisy environments like near roads. Once you get a good signal from a pipe or cable, by pressing this button on the top of the unit, it can also give you the approximate depth, which will become important later. Diagrams on the side explain the different ways of inducing signals into pipes and cables and how to pick them up, and tells you scanning techniques, but to use this kit properly does take a little bit of practice. The generator holds the required cables in its base for direct connection onto pipes and cables, together with an earth stake and also a magnet if it's difficult to clip onto the item. So my plan B is to push a cable down the pipe and directly induce a signal into it, which will give me an accurate position and an idea of its depth. And luckily, close at hand, I happen to have this armoured cable that isn't connected to anything yet, with plenty of spare length which I can use. The end that will eventually go into my workshop I expose so I can clip the red cable from the generator onto it. The other black cable needs to be earthed, so I hammer the spike into the ground and connect it up. I'm just going to pause for a few seconds to tell you that today's video is being sponsored by me, or Proper DIY Patreon page to be more exact. The Proper DIY Patreon page is full of videos and clips and behind the scene insight. These come out weekly at the weekend, so if you're interested to know what the channel is getting up to, it's an absolute must. And for just £3 a month, it's a great way of supporting the channel and getting a little bit more insight in the workings, the going-ons and the behind the scenes. So if you want to see more videos or just show your support for the channel, go and have a look at the Patreon page and sign up. It's just £3 a month and it'd be great to see you over there every weekend. Right, enough of that. I think we better get back to the work. With a good signal going along the cable, I get a very positive reading from the length sitting on the ground, which tells me the generator is working and inducing the signal down the cable. I can now push the cable as far down the pipe as I can and then track where it goes with the detector. However, before long, okay. So it only goes 3 meters before either the end or a bend where the cable can't get around. That's not far, is it? Anyway, I'm still determined to find the end, even if it stops 3 meters away. So I start tracking it with the detector. I've done this sort of thing dozens of times on site as a junior engineer, and you never quite know what you're going to find. I assume this pipe ran along the edge of my patio, but very quickly I find it actually curves off into the grass, well away from where I thought it was going to go. I mark the track with spray paint in the centre of where the signal is coming from, in various places. And then put a cross where it seems to stop at the end. However, when I measure back to the end of the pipe, it doesn't seem to add up. It seems a lot less than the 3 meters that I know the cable goes down the pipe, which at this point I just can't work out, but will become evident soon. So I just push on and start digging where I think it ends. I'd just like to remind everyone at this stage that I don't actually care where this pipe goes. I know I haven't cut anyone off, so it's just a redundant pipe. And I'm only cutting a hole in my lawn that I spent all summer caring for, just to keep people happy. I can't believe this. The neighbours are probably saying, why is that guy digging a hole in his lawn in October? Really? I check that I've dug to at least the depth of the exposed end of the pipe, because I'm assuming that it's running parallel to the surface. With no pipe in sight, I now think that maybe I've just missed it by a few inches, so I widen the hole. The big mistake and the wrong assumption that I've made here all along is that I've assumed that it's running at a constant depth. As I remember that this CAT detector can give a good indication of depth, I finally decide to press the depth button to see how deep it thinks it is. And from experience, I know that this is only an indication rather than an exact dimension, but clearly over 2 meters in depth. I suddenly realise I'm never going to see the end of this pipe. So that's a little bit disappointing that I couldn't find the end of this pipe, but after now knowing the depth of it, there's no way I'm digging a couple of meters down there to try to find a pipe that I already know goes nowhere. I think this ground used to look a lot different here, and I think they've made it up when they built the house. Over a metre deep, I'm still digging through brand new topsoil that was imported in this area, so I think this was a lot lower at one point, and I think they've just buried that pipe forever. But the only reason that I know that is because of this CAT and Genny, and so in some ways it's sort of helped solve that problem, although we haven't actually found the pipe. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please check out the other ones on the channel, and please subscribe. Go and look at our Patreon page where you can see additional videos and additional content every week. So what I'll have to do now is fill it in.